Morning everyone, Ian from DIY Home and Gardening. 1st of November, unbelievably, and I'm sat in front of this lovely bank of colour, and it's time for that monthly roundup. So let's go and see whether the rest of the plot's looking quite so good as the dahlias behind me. Well, the simple answer is no, it doesn't all look as colourful as the dahlias. So we'll start as always with the beginning. Rhubarb, kind of going into dormancy. Blackcurrant. Oh, the bed's moved to there. So I've started with my repairs and moving program, if you like. So what I'm doing is I've started with this first bed, trying to square it all up again. Beginning the beds so they're 50 centimetres away from that fencing, which is basically sufficient spacing where the sheep aren't going to be able to lean through the fence and devour all the crops. I've then squared it up again to get me my 4-foot spacing again, or 1.2 metre. Repaired all these corners because a lot of the timbers that were in there, well, that's pretty good, were odd bits of wood like that, rotting, falling apart like so. And then squaring up the pathway as well, so just reduce the pathway down to 1 metre between the beds, which then will give me a bit of a healthy gap on this side to create a narrow pathway, and my thought is to create a little border up the side here. So got this one half-heartedly done the other day, Tuesday, and so where I've moved it across, pulled out or harvested the last of the tomatoes. Obviously, as I'm pulling the beds this way, essentially it means that this bit is virgin territory, if you like. So filled that with manure. There's a bloody great stack of manure over there, 8 trailer loads of manure. You can see that Becky's been hard at it, covering all her plot with it. So sticking the manure in first, which will then allow me, once I've lifted the leeks, to then get the soil on top. And where I've lifted out 2 of the crowns of rhubarb and moved the blackcurrant and the artichoke, then I've done the same on this side. So that is my plan, is to move, repair, level up. So you can see it's actually quite a lot higher than it was because it's now level up and rework. So this is the first bed done, as in repaired. We've got the leeks in here. Got a bit of a sore throat. I think I've been ill for a bit, but salvia's still looking good. Then second bed has been again done. There's a little bit of rotten timber on this board in here, just because it was sitting so low. So I moved across, got the carrots there, which you can see the shoulders of some of the carrots now that the bed's been pulled this much over, and you can see how out it was. They're my salvia cuttings, so for short-termness, the couple of rhubarb crowns have come into here, as has the artichoke, which is still going great guns. And again, just getting it square, so you can see on this side how it kind of works. So we end up with a small border, small pathway. Look at these roots, they were what came out of the artichoke. So you've got to imagine this would be the new view coming up, but we'll be going from having a 1.5 metre wide pathway down to a 1 metre, and it will make sense, hopefully, when it's all done. Obviously there's no point me sorting this pathway out now. dahlias still looking okay. Obviously you can see there's quite a lot of dying off now, but they're looking generally okay. The odd ones have been cut back, so I've taken some cutting from that. The perennial kales looking eaten, but not too bad. Bit of breakages there. Spinach. So, well, thankfully the cold has sort of knocked the thistles back, but they're so persistent. Despite pulling them, I might have to put some sort of weed killer on them. Not glyphosate one, but I will put a weed killer on. Elephant garlic, you can now see are starting to poke their heads up. Looks like all are alright, probably except for this one, which is no sign of any shoot there, so that almost certainly has rotted. But we got 2 meters worth of elephant garlic anyway that's come back. The Egyptian walking onions, still not top dressed them. Beetroot, well, they're going into dieback mode now, so they need lifting for storage. I've pulled one of the orex to dry the seed. Swiss chard, still looking big, still not done anything with that. Now this is a proper field of shallot stems plus some grass coming through, so I need to pull the odd bits of grass. With Welsh onions, kale, still with caterpillar, not so much caterpillar though. Thankfully the birds have sort of switched on to eating them, so they're looking much better than they were. Compost bin's looking pretty full, although you can see, well, I suppose if you can be bothered to go back through previous videos, you can see how much it's slumped probably within the month. So it's dropped at least a foot in terms of height wise, so just shows how much it goes down. Again, the other day cut the Jerusalem artichoke, the frosts have sort of got to that, so they just stay as is until it gets cooler or colder, more frost, and then that will set the tubers up nicely for being lifted. So these beds obviously been stripped and cleared, but actually it's a good example of how the beds have gone, where the supports have failed, and just, I guess, sorting the levels out, but how much they've bowed and warped, so that's what I need doing. This bed here, so this is just my old tomato support. Beetroot's come out, leeks looking really good. Last of the celery, that's the green Utah. Obviously these are staying and do their thing, but see how mild it's been. The fact that they're putting on, or trying to put on, so much lush growth. Now, they're the turnips, Bulgarian giants, leeks. Spring onions, they, well, quite a lot have actually died off through damping off, just where this block of beetroot had sort of sprawled and started affecting them. So that beetroot came out, it was awful. It started going very woody, so I actually fed that to all the sheep over on the farm. So despite the fact that they look an amazing mass of colour, easy to say, the dahlias you can see are going over quite quickly, but are not really taking that much for cut flower now, so the bees are sort of, well, yeah, letting the bees make use of the openness of the flower structures as the individual plants totally go over, and then I'm just cutting them back in one fell swoop. So things like the Mary's Germander here, first plant, it's kind of done its thing, so that's cut back. The other one will go through, and then yeah, like Skirmsdale, there's not a lot left on that. Maybe one more picking for house, and then those plants can be cut. Kiwi Gloria, I'm not going to grow it, I don't think, at the allotment next year, but I'm going to lift those when they're ready and put 1 or 2 of those in the house, in the garden. See the beets just enjoying that. So in this bed here, garlic, hard neck, soft neck, and you can see plenty of shoots coming across there. So these have only been planted a month. Okay, so that brings me to the last bed, which is the onion bed. Doesn't look like there's anything really growing other than, well, a bit of weed there and the nasturtiums that have self-seeded everywhere. Onions are always a little bit slower to get going than the garlic. No, that's grass. There's a couple there. So these would be the autumn giants, which would make sense, but yeah, still nasturtium kicking in. So yeah, that's where I'm at in terms of 1st of November update. There really is nothing of note to see at the house now, so yeah, this is as far as we go on this one for the time being. So to say, that's it. 1st of November, monthly roundup, start of month roundup, done. Not loads going on, but a few things of interest, and obviously the things that's keeping me interested is reworking some of these areas, trying to get myself more organised and be in a better position for next year. So next year will be my 2nd full year of growing on here, so yeah, still pretty early stages for allotmenteering. If you've got any questions as to what I'm doing, what I've been growing, how I'm preparing for autumn, winter, then please send those questions to me. I'll do my very best to answer them for you. If you like what I'm doing, then please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that reminder button, and as always, enjoy yourself, have fun outside whilst the weather holds, and yeah, till next time, bye for now.